Welcome to Headline to Heartline. At the stadium door, identity meets spectacle. Here's why this one matters right away. On September 28, 2025, the NFL announced that Bad Bunny will headline the Apple Music Super Bowl LX halftime show on February 8, 2026, at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, California. Since that announcement, the story has jumped from entertainment into politics and back again, because the artist at the center sings in Spanish, is Puerto Rican, and has become a symbol in a country arguing with itself about who belongs on its biggest stage. If you're new to him, Bad Bunny, born Benito Martinez Ocasio, is a global pop star from Puerto Rico whose music blends reggaeton, trap, salsa, and old-school island sounds. Puerto Ricans are U.S. citizens, and many families move between the island and the mainland, so a Spanish-language headliner is not foreign. It's part of the American mosaic. ICE is Immigration and Customs Enforcement, the federal agency that carries out immigration arrests. TPUSA, or Turning Point USA, is a conservative advocacy group. Here's the clean who, what, when, where. Bad Bunny is booked for the official Super Bowl halftime show on Sunday, February 8, 2026, in Santa Clara, California. In the first week after the announcement, his U.S. streams jumped significantly, a sign that curiosity and conversation were moving together. On October 4th, during his Saturday Night Live monologue, he joked in Spanish and then said in English, "If you didn't understand me, you have 4 months to learn." A wink that captured the larger debate in a single line. President Trump said he'd never heard of Bad Bunny and called the pick ridiculous. Mike Johnson called the choice a terrible decision and floated country singer Lee Greenwood as a better fit. TPUSA quickly announced plans for an all-American halftime show as counter-programming during the official halftime. Now, let's talk fairness. Critics aligned with MAGA argue that a Spanish-forward show doesn't speak to the broadest possible audience and say the NFL is chasing politics instead of unity. Supporters say the U.S. is one of the world's largest Spanish-speaking countries. Puerto Ricans are American citizens, and the Super Bowl has always evolved with the music Americans actually play and stream. Both can agree on one thing. This halftime has turned into a referendum on identity. I want to add a personal note, because this story surprised me in a good way. It showed me how many people around me already knew exactly who Bad Bunny is. I first heard him years ago, but the first album I really stopped to listen to, start to finish, was his 2025 record, because everyone was talking about it, and I really liked it. It felt rooted in Puerto Rico and still traveled effortlessly into my living room. Some people online now say, Bad Bunny doesn't like America. Here's the context. He has criticized U.S. policies that affect Puerto Ricans and immigrants, especially the colonial limbo of the island and immigration enforcement tactics. He also said he left the mainland U.S. off a tour over concerns about ICE raids at venues. That's about safety and policy, not a dislike of Americans. His career tells a different story. He has appeared on SNL, wrestled in WWE events, collaborated with U.S. artists, and even popped up in the 2020 Super Bowl halftime show as a guest. In other words, he works inside U.S. culture all the time while speaking up, as many artists do, about issues that matter to his community. We've had Latin stars at halftime before. Gloria Estefan headlined in the 1990s. Shakira and Jennifer Lopez in 2020, so showcasing Spanish-language music isn't new. I imagine the sharper reaction now has more to do with an extremely divided country, where President Trump's super-nationalist rhetoric makes some people more reactive to something that, to many others, feels inclusive and natural. America is deeply inclusive, and the halftime show usually is too. Stepping back, why does this episode matter? Because a halftime show is more than a song list. It's a mirror, one of our 2 metaphors tonight, held up to the country. When a Spanish-speaking Puerto Rican-American headliner is cast as un-American, we're not really arguing about music. We're arguing about who gets counted in the family photo. You may love Bad Bunny, you may be new to him, or you may not care for his sound at all. But the size of the reaction tells us something simple and important. Millions of Americans live bilingual lives, and millions more are comfortable hearing more than one language in the same living room. Our common ground doesn't vanish because a song isn't in English. It expands when more of us feel seen. Because music, culture, and politics walk together, I understand the political statements swirling around this. What I don't understand, and can't excuse, are the fake posts and hate speech that followed. Viral claims that big sponsors threatened to pull out. Fabricated quotes from coaches and owners and talk of canceling the event altogether. Those stories keep getting debunked, but they still burn time and trust. The real conversation is simple enough for the kitchen table. Does the show make us feel connected for 15 minutes on a Sunday night? Does it reflect the many rooms of the American house? If you appreciate calm, well-sourced storytelling, please like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss what comes next. Where we are tonight is clear. The NFL says Bad Bunny headlines the official halftime show on February 8th in Santa Clara. President Trump and some conservative voices disagree with the choice. Others celebrate it as overdue recognition of a vast Spanish-speaking audience. And the public reaction so far suggests that curiosity is outrunning outrage. As we watch the story unfold, we can hold two truths at once. Disagreement is part of democracy, and inclusion is part of the American rhythm. Thank you for spending your time with me. If this helped you cut through the noise, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. Goodbye for now. Let's close the door we opened together, knowing we can always step back through it when the music starts.